What is up, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. And it appears that someone else is a huge fan of SRK, who is a very, very passionate actor, an Indian actor, the king of Bollywood, that this person says. And this person is a new automation, and he also is a huge fan of this gentleman. This gentleman, SRK, is a very passionate actor. Um, every movie I've seen of him so far, he reminds me a lot of, Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, Benedict Cumberbatch. The reason why he reminds me of these actors, that these actors, no matter what role they played, they get it down to a T. They study it, they practice it, they get it to a point where they take what is, like, for example, Joaquin Phoenix, he did the Joker. That big confessional scene that he did on the Murray Show. He used to have a brother. Well, he had a brother, an older brother named River Phoenix, who was at that moment in time the hottest actor. Unfortunately, his brother had passed away due to an overdose at a very well-known club with its reputation called the Viper Room in Los Angeles. And he was the one that basically was watching his brother, OD, and called him up. He actually used that memory, that event, to get him into the character of Arthur, who has just basically given up, has had it, to a point where to a point of his own mental illness, to finding out his mother's not his mother, basically during those times, it wasn't really a good time, and it sort of played a factor in becoming the Joker as we know. And Heath Ledger, who also played the Joker, rest in peace. He too, whatever role he played, whether it's in Brokeback Mountain or, playing the player in 10 Things I Hate About You, whatever role he was given, he brought that character to life. It's kind of hard to believe that was Heath Ledger, but he brought that character to life in a natural way. And this is what SKR's, he is a passionate and brings out in a natural way. I bet you he could play a superhero and you forget it's him, because he does it so natural in a way where you believe the character. And not only do you believe the character, it's hard not to put anyone else in that character's shoes other than that actor. And this is him. The movie that Anu had told me to watch, and like another person, Chirag Sonani, who's a big fan of him too, Anu told me to watch Devdas, excuse me. And it was a sad story. I'm not really into, like I always say, I'm not into romance, because it's just like, once you've watched a handful of romance movies, you kind of get the idea of the pattern. And when you know that pattern, it becomes predictable. And despite this movie being predictable, the execution of it was very nicely done. I would give this movie a 7, because, like I said, it was predictable, but yet the execution of it, and not only that, the whole theme of heartbreak. The thing about heartbreak is a raw emotion. You can't fake that. You cannot fake that. I mean, heartbreak can come in many forms. It doesn't have to be a romance. It could be death of a family member. It could be loss of a friend because you moved away. It could be, rejected by whatever job company you wanted to go for a job for, or maybe a school you wanted to attend to, or finding out that your freaking hero you looked up to is a jerk. Heartbreak you cannot fake. And this movie, that kind of runs with this theme and it exploits this theme until it is raw, because like I said, heartbreak is a raw emotion. It's like you feel that pain more than whatever pain you felt before. Like nothing can like nothing can like override, that feeling, like, you know, and dying of heartbreak, that's, I hope and pray I don't die of heartbreak, but man, this dude, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, Devdas is a movie about the title character. So, Devdas, excuse me, after a 10 long study in London, because he was studying law, he was in law school, he comes back. And when he comes back, everyone's excited, even his neighbor, who is a childhood friend of his, Paro. And their friendship, they have something that is rooted more than friendship. While he is away, she lit a oil lamp, and she made sure it never extinguished. When he was away, he made sure it never extinguished when he came to return. Um, you know, and she finds this out through her family, because they happen to be neighbors. And the mother tells them, hey, he's coming back, he's coming back. So as the story continues, we find out that, for whatever reason, his sister-in-law, well, actually his sister-in-law was very greedy, says that, kind of reminds her that family is like low class and comes from a lineage of dancers, something like that. The thing of it is, in India, it is a very, very strict custom, and then again, it depends on families, but the main traditional Indian family, they go by this strict custom that they decide who you marry. And this goes by, I believe, like 3 main rules. Like, they have to be the same age. The reason being is that, they can continue the bloodline, the lineage. 2, they have to be of the community, the caste. So, in other words, if you're lower class and they're higher class, and they're not of the community, or, if the family doesn't overlook that, well, they are a good family, yes, they're lower class, but their reputation is good, it's hardworking. If they don't see anything that's kind of like in it for them, they're going to say no. And a third thing is, I think the third thing was like both families not only have to agree on it, but they kind of get something out of it, something like that. I just know that they have to be of the same age and they have to be within the same community. Those are very big within the Indian tradition, the Indian culture. And this is when that whole custom comes to play, because when, there's a huge get-together, and Devdas and Paro, they want to get married. And the mother of Paro wants them to get married. So when she announces that, hey, I want them to get married, his mother goes, no, basically publicly humiliates him, says, no, you guys are lower class, I will not have my son, go with you. And his father agrees, and the sister wins. Humiliated, by this, Paro's mother has her married off to another man, a widower who is a high aristocrat and makes more money than, Devdas does. Um, and and Devdas is, he's not happy. He runs to like a brothel and writes a letter to Paro and basically, tells her our love is false, blah blah blah. Um, and then this working girl, falls for him, things like that. And as he's with her, he kind of realizes, man, I made a mistake. The day of the wedding, where Paro is about to get married to this widower who already has 3 grown children, and has a huge estate. Uh, not only does he try to say, hey, let's elope, she goes, no, you threw me away. It was so easy for you to agree to your parents, and do what you did to me rather than fight for me. So no, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to be a dutiful daughter and follow through with this marriage, and I'm going to go. He leaves crying and he starts drinking. She follows, like she says, she follows through with the wedding, and basically the guy is, he's an older guy. I mean, basically, he just wants, you're going to be a mother of my kids, whatever child we have, you're going to be the mother, and your duty is towards the estate. So more like whatever I say goes. And she honors it, the story continues on, and, he's, like I said, he starts drinking heavily. The, soon, Devdas, his father ends up dying. His last wish is to see, Devdas. Basically, he's drunk and things like that. The dad dies, and he goes to the funeral. And makes a scene and passes out. Pero goes to the brothel and meets with this working girl, and basically goes after her at first, accusing her for making him drink, and she goes no, and finding out that she is in love with her man. Devdas, they start to kind of have a little friendship, and she takes her to a party that's at the estate, introducing her to her family, her in-laws, but not saying anything about her, what she does for a living, what her profession. Apparently, one of the in-laws recognizes the girl and says in front of everyone, "Oh, she works at the brothel and she's no good." The girl goes up to him and goes, "Well, you know what? Because you keep coming and visiting me, it's the reason why the brothel's still standing." Slaps him in front of him and then goes to leave. Not, wanting to be the butt of a joke, basically tells the dude, her husband, about the relationship with the guy, with Devdas, and says, "You are not allowed to leave the estate." The story continues where, our hero is on the verge of dying. One more dose of, alcohol, he'll die. He did say at the funeral, because they were all at the funeral, that when his day has come, he will walk up to her doorstep and say bye-bye. He goes to visit a friend, an old childhood friend of his, and they drink to friendship, knowing fully well that the alcoholism he has is so bad to a point where he's pickled his liver, pretty much. He drinks it and he's done. He's trying to get to the house, and she sees this and she's trying to say goodbye to him, but the husband also sees this, tells the servants lock up the gates. She's trying to get to him in time. He's under a tree and he says her name, and he says her name because she's trying to open the, she's crying, seeing him die right in front of her, and the lantern, however you want to call it. Almost as if kind of like those movies, when the person dies, the candle goes. That's what happened there. Like I said, this was a good movie, kind of predictable, but like I said, I'll give it an 8. Because like I said, the execution of it was very nice. I did like the execution, how they did it. How they really did heartbreak. Love makes you do crazy things, and obviously obviously this dude was, love makes you do crazy stuff, and so does heartbreak, and everyone has their own way of coping with heartbreak. Unfortunately, some people's ways are very more self-destructive than most. So that's my review on this movie. Like I said, I'll give it an 8. I did like the execution. I did like the story. It's just like I said, it was predictable. It was for me. It was predictable, but it was good. It was good. I did enjoy it. So, Anu, thank you so much for requesting this movie. I really did like it. The gentleman SRK, he is a very passionate actor. He played his heart out. I mean, I don't know what he was doing prior to acting. I don't know how many times his heart was broken, but he used it. Like I said, that's an emotion you cannot fake. And if he faked it, man, he's a good actor. But I don't know. That's something you can't fake. In my opinion, that's something you can't fake. You really can't. Like I said, the heartbreak doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could be like you found out, your family member died, or you felt like you weren't good enough because you were rejected by a school or a job you wanted, or like you found out your idol is a jerk, and you looked up to them for so long only to find out, oh my God, you're fake. But yeah, this movie played its heart out with friggin' heartbreak. I'll give you that much. So this was a good movie. Like I said, I'll give it an 8. Anu, thank you so much. That's gonna be it for me. That's gonna be it for today for me. It's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out there. Okay, guys. So take care. Bye.